Ladies and gentlemen, this is JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I'm Joe.
I'm One Jin.
Today we're going to talk about Netflix The Spy, which released in 2019, starring Sacha Cohen.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Full spoilers ahead. I know it's been out for a while, but we're going to talk about all 6 episodes. You have been warned. Here we go.
Okay.
So, you want to go first, One Jin?
Okay. Oh, no, why don't you go first? Let me just tweak the camera look.
Okay. For me, I'm sure a lot of people know Cohen as a comedian. But,
that's right.
So I was a little bit worried going in that I might, think of his other roles, like very famous roles.
Ali G, Borat, Bruno.
But as soon as I watched the first episode, I knew I was in. Because, the real-life spy, Eli Cohen, we already know how the ending goes, right? So I thought they did the Better Call Saul thing really well, where they add a lot of dimension to Eli Cohen and the characters around him for me to... By the 6 episodes, I know what's going to happen, but for me to really care about what happens to him, and also the humanity of a lot of people around him too.
Yeah.
And overall, I also love the thriller. It was a thriller, but I love the serenity that intersperses those thrilling moments.
Yeah.
Because there are moments where, oh shit. And then there are moments where we get the mood of the 60s. A lot of there's no smartphones. Everybody got a phone. Also that time. And I even thought a lot of the Syrian characters were really well developed, given the short time that they have compared to the lead, of course.
Yeah, I was quite surprised, especially characters like the military official's nephew. What's his name? I forgot his name. Yeah,
Mozzie?
Mozzie. And it was really, really short. It's a mini-series. We only have 6 episodes.
Shout out to Scott Walker.
Oh, Scott Walker, what's up?
Oh, yeah. Korea is very cold.
Yeah, today we're what? You're 30 there? We're 4 degrees here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so I was surprised at how carefully crafted these characters were. And, what's up, ZZ?
What's up, ZZ? Big shout out to ZZ.
And I was also quite puzzled with the cast when I saw Sacha Baron Cohen, but deep inside, I was also kind of expecting a stellar performance by Sacha Baron Cohen in this show, because people who are well known as comedians, when you give them a serious role, we can often see them outperforming everybody's expectations. For example, we got Jim Carrey playing playing roles in
it's 3 degrees where you are,
ZZ? What's it called? The Truman Show, or also The Cable Guy. That's half funny but half
and Robin Williams as that killer.
Yeah, Robin Williams in Insomnia.
Yeah.
We also have Will Ferrell in Stranger Than Fiction. So when you give these roles to comedians, they usually do a terrific job. So I was kind of hoping that he would do something similar. He'd be able to do something on par with those actors. And I was quite hoping that he would do really well, because I know that Sacha Baron Cohen is not just any comedian. He's a very smart one. This guy he's a very smart guy. Even with his seemingly dumb comedies, he kind of exposes a lot of ironies and hypocrisy.
No, and in this series, I agree. He brings a subtlety to the role that where we get to see Ellie transform into Camille. Because in the beginning, there are a lot of scenes where it's almost it's the opposite of James Bond, where James Bond will tell you to his face, "I'm James Bond, 007, bitch." Arrange them in a certain order, and you know what they look like. But here, one of the great poignant scene of is the wardrobe scene.
Yeah, when he's changing.
And then And then when he comes back, his handler tells him, well, you were Camille then, and then now you're Ellie, so now I'm telling you that your daughter was born. And I'm sure this is fictional, but I love, because remember how it kind of reminded me a lot of the Johnny Depp and Al Pacino movie, the Donnie Brasco.
Yeah, Donnie
where
Brasco.
we get a monologue of like a Donnie Brasco. I'm not acting like them. I am them, and it's one of a great fictional device.
Yeah,
and
I mean, it's eventually you go in too deep, and then you can't really get back to who you really were.
But I heard that was fiction though, because I like if you look at interview with real life agent, they're like, no, I didn't think I was. No,
I was acting the whole time.
Yeah, but here. Because one of the charms of this series is how Ellie, when he becomes Camille, adapts to the situation.
Yeah.
One of the funniest and most intense scene was for me when they were crossing the border with Syria, and the rich guy who's taking him is like, okay, you better tell me. Like
there's nothing like weird in there.
No, it's not. He says you're betting my life with you. And it's a serious comment, and then Ellie's like, "Oh, there is a
pornographic magazine,
a humongous pornography," and then they laugh about it. And there are a lot of scenes like that where we see Ellie in a certain danger, so to speak, and then there is a theme going on too, where remember his because his boss says, he's too eager. And then we do get this like thematic element where if he didn't, want it too much, he could have got away with a lot of, he didn't need to get caught.
Yeah.
But he did, and there is this great sense of tragedy there. There's also the show also answers that identity thing where he signs his name Ellie, so where he's not confused about who he is. And did you think there are similarities between Titanic sinking and the Titan submersive disaster? Hey Walker, why don't we talk about that a little bit later? But I think they're very different because Titanic is huge.
Did you need Jim Carrey? Did a gay part in a movie ages ago. I Love You, Philip Morris, was it? Yeah, but I was thinking more of the Truman Show and what's it called? Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Okay.
That was like dead serious, and people could really tell that Jim Carrey was a terrific actor. Yeah, and when the show started, it starts with like a flash forward where Ellie has already been caught, and he's basically just like minutes away from his execution or something. You can tell all his nails are they have pulled out.
Torture.
And like the way they started the show, it gave me a lot of the vibe I got from that miniseries, Chernobyl. Chernobyl took a very similar path. It starts with like a flash forward, and then it goes back in time and starts unfolding all these stories.
Yeah, but it's a story device because just like Chernobyl, we know what's going to happen. Yeah. So, like, that's one of the challenges.
Oh, and by the way, before watching the show, I did not know how this show was going to end because I was not really familiar with Eli Cohen and what happened to him.
Okay. No, because I knew because he got caught, and then because the him hanging, that video is a reel of him hanging. But I'm sure like his boss wanting to bang his wife and all that is all fiction though. There are a lot of great like story elements.
Well, no. Well, I think I have a different interpretation for that scene because I don't think it was like he wanted to bang her, but I think it's the guilt that he felt.
No, but it's open to interpretation.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but I think the guilt was weighing on heavier on him.
No, but I know what you mean. But it also contrasts with him how he treats his subordinate, the lady who later becomes pregnant. I think because there are a lot of scenes where it shows that it hints at how these people in Mossad, at least within the show, have to sacrifice their humanity and do inhuman things to protect humanity. And so like one of his boss, that character is very interesting because he's a very cold person. he's cold to his that employee, and his boss is also very pragmatic. They get these moments of sadness where, like, his boss is listening to like an old radio record of his sisters, and I think about them, and it just it keeps building up to that ultimate sacrifice Ellie has to make, because he is going to give his life, and. Oh, before I forget, a big shout out to the actor who played Sudani.
Yes, the man from Kingdom of Heaven.
Yeah, Alexander Siddig. Like, because he was in Kingdom of Heaven.
Oh man, his eyes were like burning with fire.
Yeah.
He was so intimidating in the show.
No, you know that scene in the party where he shakes hands with the president's wife, and then as soon as he's gone, he just turns into the like the psychopath face again, and then you know he is basically the villain, because the moment I saw him in the first episode, I knew he was gonna come back, and then he keeps, you know.
Well, as the show progressed, I was kind of fascinated by him, because I was thinking to myself, you know, if I were younger, if I were a kid, I would say that, oh my god, that's the bad guy. But as I grew older and I see him in the show, I'm like, oh my god, this guy's really good at his job. This guy's really competent. Yeah, because that's his job.
Yeah.
He needs to take care of security, and he's not trusting anybody. And he has this very, very good hunch on who's the bad guy, and he was correct. And he was also smart on how to like triangulate Ellie's position. That blackout and the radio tracking idea was brilliant.
Yeah, those Soviet guys on the truck.
I was thinking this guy's really smart.
I did love the old school like spy techniques though, because it's like spying is such a human thing. Because one of my favorite scene also was I'm sure it's also fiction, but when Ellie is about to get hanged, we get to meet all the people that he actually befriended. Yeah, and their faces are very ambiguous. Yeah, it's not really contempt.
It's kind of like sadness, more like
a little bit sadness, because they can't like him. Even the president. I'm sure that's also fiction, but I liked it when his wife grabs his hand, because the president was really well portrayed, because we see a paranoid person. He's paranoid, and then like Camille is like the ultimate fuck you to him. Like, at least within the show, I trust you completely.
It's like the deputy defense minister.
Not only that, in parties you talk good about me. I love you, man. And there are also great entertainment moments, like Bin Laden's father, Osama Bin Laden is appearing. Karate Kid, I did see it on TV, Walker.
I did not know there was an animated series of it. I remember the movie though.
Yeah, because I think Scott Walker, because it's acting, so I think they can channel a lot of things that they usually don't. Yeah.
And I think excellent actors are always good at portraying villains.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And but this one, I enjoyed it. What I loved about this episode, like this series, was the 6th episode was perfect. You could argue that it could have been 5, but I like the 6th episode. I like the little details. I love it when Kamel, because it's kind of like it's really entertaining, because they bring in these real life elements, and then one of my great scenes was when Kamel is just a badass, going into getting the apartment next to the Ministry of Defense, getting friendly with the locals, and a lot of dramatic moments. Like, even in like the scene where he visits the military base. Yeah, that was one of the best episode for me. Like, because there's this constant tension. Yeah, and that tension kind of escalates when the general kind of asks him to shoot the Israeli civilians at the kibbutz. Yeah, and turns out it was a joke. Yeah, and then that planting the trees. So he, like, the show presents him as this great spy, and it was great. And then his downfall was great too. Yeah, I also really liked the scene where he was telegraphing using Morse code to the headquarters, and you know, they were all watching the soccer game. Yeah, and then he has that conversation with his brother. It was brother. Yeah, on the other side. That was pretty human. Did you think it was too short? No, I thought it was the perfect amount. Yeah, because Like, it just had everything. I think it was a really well written script. Like, cause I never had a boring moment where the spy thriller element is always there, coupled with the character development.
Yeah.
Because like around the 4th and 5th episode, we do finally see Camille breaking down, and we know it's a tragedy when they say you shouldn't go, but he goes. And so this is a very traditional spy tale with some Mossad and Middle Eastern politics mixed into it.
And I knew that things were not going to go well when he couldn't shake off his Camel identity at the shopping mall when he was shopping for that TV with his wife. Yeah, that was kind of sad.
Yeah.
And I also liked the what was that in episode, I think 5, was it? It doesn't take too much time on like depicting his downfall. Remember, shows like Narcos, that they have kind of like a longer take on what happens. It's kind of like closing in on the character slowly, it trying to like suffocate the character. But with this, it happened very, very briefly. I think that triangulation thing just happens in one episode. No, but and then he's immediately caught in the act.
No, for me, I have a different opinion, because I thought him might be getting caught was always there. Remember, because there are hints, because throughout, Sudani asks the security guard, when does the TV becomes that way? So there is a sense of this impending doom, and that he's always in danger of being found out, because he does a lot of risky things. He tells the lady that, tell your father that I don't want to see you again.
Oh yeah, and when he went to the military base with Mozzie, he sneaked out, and then he comes back, and then obviously he's suspicious. Yeah, but I think Mozzie just covers for him.
So I thought, I have a different opinion on you, that I thought it was the show did a great job of always showing him vulnerable, and then for us, when the triangle thing happened, it was not a surprise, because he was always in danger. Like listen, like when he put the Morse code on the
lamp,
I was like, is that secure? Like, I was like,
is that really a good idea?
And like that those sex parties he did for the generals, when he did when he recorded that, I was like, make sure you turn that off, though. You are putting yourself in danger too, because him being caught is always, because there are great scenes where we are in Camille's shoe, where we are always brought into places where we don't know what's going on. Remember when they first met the imam at the Baz party? Because when he's walking in, we're thinking just like him. Did I get discovered? And then when even the president brings him to, I want you to become the deputy minister, I'm like, that's Sudani taking you, so what's going on? So when it finally happens, it's sad, because we know it was going to happen. And he even fails to eat the suicide pill.
Oh, that's right. The cyanide pill. Yeah. Which is tragic.
So I just love that constant feeling of danger that the show did well. I think that's what drew me in for the 6th episode.
I also came to think, it's like how difficult spying must have been back then. All that tech, and like you said, there's so much work. By today's standards, some of these like spy activities could be super, super easy. Actually, that's interesting that you brought that up, because I thought the opposite, because that's the analog time. Like, the first thing Sudani would do is search Google for Camille Siddig, Argentina. And then, is that office really there? Like, Google Street View. It's like,
Oh, now that you mentioned it, one of the plot holes is, like, when Sudani sent his minion to check the grave, I was like, shouldn't the first thing to be go to the address of the corporate incorporated and then see if there is an actual export business? But anyway, like minor details like that, because to me it made sense that he can penetrate like that, because it's the 60s. Yeah, we don't get the information and corroboration that we want. And another convincing thing for me was, I think any developing country at that stage had a small group of elites. Because we take it for granted, you and me, for example, I think we get a lot of education and go to public school, right? But back then, if you're a rich motherfucker, I think your access to power is just much more easier. And I thought that was convincing for me.
Yeah.
So it made.
And it exposed him to so much more risk and danger because of that old tech. You know, how he had to like open up every document and take pictures with his camera and he had to put it in his pocket. I was thinking by today's standards, that would just
They'll
be
just
like
hack it.
USB copy and that's it.
Oh, that's
or,
true.
you know, you could just like wear a GoPro on yourself. All you need to do is just walk around and just look at it, and it will be captured. You can just play it back later. But
I think they'll probably hack it today, right? Like, no, because like I do wonder though if field agents take those risks though, because I think the show set up great dialogues where Ellie is a risk taker, his boss says. So every time he does that, I'm like, huh. Like, are you sure, man? Like, just get a binocular and just sit there for 10 years. I thought your life would be okay. Because if you think about it, he didn't even need to, like, approach those elites like that.
Yeah.
He was the one being very aggressive. And I like the fact that he's Israeli Arab. So, like, that race element is, like, just hinted at.
yeah.
And I do think the show tried to, present itself as objective as possible.
And, we are basically like a third party to this conflict in the Middle East. So, I mean, I can just watch the show and think, okay, so that happened. I wonder what the perception would be in the...
Wonjin?
In
Wonjin? There's a reason why I said that, and then let's not go there, because I think it's not going to be nice to... No. Wonjin, let's stop there. Hey, it's time to give a score, because let's keep our Asian asses out of this.
Okay.
Like, because we read some news, we don't know shit. Okay, so we're just reviewing the show.
It was a great spy show. Yeah, it was a great spy thriller.
Yeah.
That's all it was for us.
Oh, before I end, I did like the ending though. 'Cause it's kind of like this British sense of humor. Like, I like how it's so they're back to business. I did think the show wasn't really trying to push something down my throat. Because Eli Cohen, his body not returning, these are all facts. These are all, his wife is still alive. These are all facts. These are public information. So I did like that ending where, despite all the sadness, they didn't over mythologize it like what's that movie with Steven Spielberg? Munich. Yeah. Because I thought that one was a little bit more, this like right here, a little bit.
Do you see it closer?
Yeah. Here you go. We're not gonna say any like proper nouns. Okay, but anyway, let's give a score.
I would give the show like an 8 out of 10.
Oh.
I would give it an 8. It was thoroughly entertaining. I was very surprised and satisfied with Sacha Baron Cohen's performance in the show. I also don't really know the names of the other side characters, like all those people in Mossad, his wife,
Sudani.
and everybody. Yeah, except Sudani.
Yeah.
But these people also did a tremendous job. I was very convinced that they were like really like they were actually like Israeli, and they were actually like.
No, I'm pretty sure everybody in the Mossad was Israeli actors. I didn't check, but they definitely look like Israeli people.
It was very convincing. I liked like all the details they put in the show. I mean, I didn't live in Israel in the 1960s, but like the bus they took and all these like small things. I'm pretty sure that they took a lot of attention to detail.
The set design were great.
Yeah.
The set design were very it looked realistic. I would give it 8.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I almost gave it 8, but it was one of the shows where I could just open up a popcorn and just enjoy it. It wasn't. I loved. It reminded me for some reason the movie Pianist.
Oh, you mean the one with Adrian Brody?
Yeah, because that one also was a period piece. Because this is a thriller and a period piece. And I just love what you just said about me jumping into the 60s in that particular time. It was very believable. How they talk, how they dress, all that smoking.
Yeah.
And some of the humors and great dialogue were great. Like the moment the moment Camille says "fuck you, asshole," because I'm your biggest advertiser, like we get this humor that is very realistic. Like it looks authentic.
Yeah.
Right. It had the pianist vibe. Yeah, because there's a serenity to it, right? And because that was brought up anytime Cohen and Nadia was there.
Yeah. But
we also get camera shots of, the Israeli apartments, and we also see the streets of Syria. Yeah. And those were really well done. I really liked it. And the terrible cost of the tanks and the dead bodies. So, and I just love hearing the radio too. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think people don't listen to radio. I mean, even when they listen to radios, they listen it through the internet. They don't actually tune in to the frequency anymore.
So JoeJinMovieSoAwesome gives this a 8.25.
8.25.
This is a certified. Go watch it if you haven't. If you like spy thrillers. Hey guys, we're gonna take a short break. 3-minute break. Oh, the light and the cold and the warm tones of camera filters. That's
true. I also love how like every time they gave us shots of Nadia in Israel, it was so pale.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that take.
Yeah, but that's I think. I didn't think of that, but that's the pianist vibe I got. I love the camera angles and everything. Even how the characters they sat down. You know that you know how
the close-up shots.
Yeah, Mazi and like when people are in contrast, and close up to Sudani was fucking scary.
Scary eyes.
Yeah. So hey guys, we're gonna be back in 3 minutes sharp this time. To talk about
Leave the World Behind.
Leave the World Behind, movie starring Ethan Hawke and Julia Roberts, which was released last year, and we're going to review that.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I was Joe.
I was one Jin.
If you like our stuff, please leave a like and reply, and we'll see you in a bit. Bye.
We'll be right back.
You thought we would joke, didn't you? But we won't going to. We're going to cut it out now. Fuck you, Wonjin. I always hated you. You are the one who sent me to North Korea. I hope you fucking have diarrhea and die. And then I also fucked your wife. Goodbye. I'm being captured by North Koreans.